Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy, Atypical Security Guard, coming to you today from 511 in Tualatin. This is, as you know, one of my favorite stores, and for some reason, I always seem to need something that makes me drive the 15 miles out here and spend my money. So today we're going to do one of my question and answer segments. I had someone reach out to me. I believe his name is Angel Martinez. I hope that's right. I hope I'm not butchering it. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But the question, and I'm paraphrasing, was where I'm working, if I have my guard card, does that guard card also double as my concealed carry license when I'm off of work? And this is a great question because I actually thought about this when I first started in Pennsylvania working as an armed security guard. You had to get what's called a lethal weapons permit, right? That lethal weapons permit allows you to carry armed while you're working in armed security. But as most of you know, I'm sure watching this video, that your guard card does not double as your concealed carry license. Here in Oregon, I think that I've been very open and honest about my disdain for how liberal this area is, and they are truly against gun rights in my personal opinion, and they do everything to dissuade you from carrying a firearm. Commander Hall, fellow YouTuber, fellow security guard, he actually put up some information about what it's like in Florida, but Florida is completely 180 degrees different from Oregon. Oregon, again, a blue state, Florida being a red state, more conservative, more 2A friendly. I can tell you that from my personal experience here in Oregon, you have about an hour, and I want to say that it's actually in our training information, that you have about an hour from the time that your shift ends to the time that they expect you to be home, barring any extenuating circumstances, if you're still armed. I know of guards personally that have gotten citations and letters in the mail from our governing body here in Oregon because they've been seen at gas stations purchasing beer on their way home in their uniform. If you're seen out in public at a restaurant in your uniform, if you're seen running errands, all of these things can get you kind of in the crosshairs of certain departments in certain areas here in Oregon. So for us specifically here, we do have about an hour to and from where you're basically believed to be on duty or heading towards duty. But if you do not have a concealed carry license and you're wearing that uniform and you're out and about after your shift, you could actually find yourself in a lot of trouble, not excluding someone accusing you of impersonating an officer, depending on what you're doing. So you need to all look into your own state, your own area, and also your company policies, because everything's going to be a little bit different depending on where you are. But here in Oregon, that is a big no-no in terms of just traveling back and forth. And obviously, your guard card does not double as a concealed carry license. Here in Portland, I think that I've talked about this before, but Oregon itself is a right to carry state. So if you're in the state of Oregon, you have the right to carry as long as it's open carry. But the Oregon statute allows for each municipality and city to amend that as they see fit. So in Portland, being extremely liberal, you actually can only open carry if you have a concealed carry license. Let me say that one more time, because I know that sounds absolutely crazy. You can only open carry if you have a concealed carry license. And in order to get your concealed carry license, you have to take a safety course, you have to apply for it at the sheriff's department, and then once you've submitted proof of your course, all of your information, you have to have 3 references of people in the city, and then the sheriff's department has 3 months, 90 days from the time that they get it to actually issue it to you. But that's barring anything that's unforeseen, like, I don't know, COVID or protest, right? And there's always protests going on. So in my opinion, Portland does everything that it can to try and stall people out, frustrate them, and dissuade them from getting their concealed carry handgun license, even though there are nightly shootings, stabbings, and all kinds of issues that would lead one to want to have their concealed carry license and actually need their concealed carry license. So that is my answer to your question. I want to thank you so much for reaching out to me. I hope I didn't butcher your name too much. I will insert right here your actual question to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I hope that answers it. Today, after I leave 511, I'm going to be going to Threat Dynamics. I'm going to be doing some shooting, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of that on video as well, and we can talk about firearms, right? All right. Hey guys, I am here at Threat Dynamics. Just went through about 2 boxes of ammunition, got those reps in. Next week I do have to qualify for my yearly recertification for firearms, and I've been trying to come out and get the reps in and make sure that I'm ready, put bullets down target. But something that I wanted to share with you guys, like Murphy's Law, they say whatever can happen will happen, and it's guaranteed to happen at the worst possible time. When I came out yesterday, my brand new Glock 17 fully tricked out, it was literally one thing after another. The red dot sight went out. I had an issue with one of the extractor pins. We got that fixed, and then I had the front sight post pop off of the firearm. It was literally just like one thing after another, but I took it all in stride, and I chose to look at it as a positive, right? Because if any of these things would have happened next week, it would have just been like so detrimental for me, right? My anxiety would have been through the roof. You guys already know I deal with anxiety all the time anyway. So listen, you know, coming out and having all of that stuff happen last night, it got me in the mode, and it got me in a thinking mentality. What can I do to make sure that I'm prepared should any of this happen next week? So took the red dot off, go back to iron sights, got in touch with my instructor Greg, put a good set of iron sights back on the Glock 17, purchased my very own sight tool so that if I have an issue, I can break down that slide, I can tighten up that front post. I have a secondary front post to bring with me just in case this kind of stuff happens next week. But what does that lead to, and what does that lend to? And it lends to being prepared. And guys, listen, security guards, we need to be prepared at all times anyway, right? So this was a great opportunity for me to put myself in the situation that I'm going to be at. Actually, this is the location where I do my qualification. So I'm coming in, I'm shooting in the same lanes that I'll be tested on next week. I'm getting those reps in, putting myself in that environment, and just preparing, right? This is that professional mindset. This is that warrior mindset. This is that athletic mindset, putting yourself in the situation, training in the way that you're going to compete. So guys, one last thing. I still am at a point in my firearms training where I still get very nervous. I'm interested to hear from you guys. Are you experiencing any of that? How often do you guys actually get to the range? I'm lucky here in Portland that with Threat Dynamics and Safe Fire, which is in Washington, they're about 15 to 30 minutes away from where I live, but for the most part, pretty easy to get to, pretty easy to get a lane. So if I do have time, which is very rarely, I'm able to get to either one of these range and kind of put bullets down target. But I'm interested to hear from the security perspective, how often are you guys getting out to the range? Are you going to public ranges, or like me, do you prefer to shoot inside in some of these private facilities? Are you guys doing memberships? This location has a phenomenal membership where I believe you can pay anywhere from $50 to $100 a month. That gives you certain access to certain range. They have the indoor simulator. They've got a lot of different things that they do here, outdoor classes, group classes, and I'm looking at my finances right now and seeing how I can work in a membership, because just today coming out to the range, I think I paid $25 for that 1 hour. So I really want to hear from you guys what you're doing, how often you're putting those bullets down range, how often you're using your firearm, and how often you're training, and what you guys are doing. Let's communicate. Share your information with me so I can share mine with you, and we can help to create a better community that will ultimately change the narrative around security. As always, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you subscribing and sharing. And as always, please be great and watch your six.